I'm Roger and welcome back to the Tractor Tech channel. Today I have some firewood that I want to try to get stacked. All this behind me here, I'm hoping that I wind up with 1.5 cords of firewood. This wood was all wood that a garage customer gave us. It was from a tree that she had taken down by a tree service, and actually for a tree service they did a pretty decent job at cutting the wood up. It wasn't the usual wood that ranges from about like 4 inches to 2 feet. Most of it was cut about 16 inches. There was a long piece here and there and a short piece here and there, but all in all it's pretty decent, especially for free wood. All we had to do was go get it and load it up. I'm going to keep this for personal firewood to burn myself. Go ahead and show you the wood that I'm going to be stacking into this tote. This is a 275-gallon tote. Once I'm done stacking the wood in, I'm going to try to pick it up with the BX. I'm a bit skeptical, but we're going to find out if the BX will even lift a tote of wood. If it's not going to lift it on the 3-point hitch, it's definitely not going to lift it on the front end loader if you have a loader. So when I hauled the wood in, I had heaped loads on my pickup. This is one load right here, a little bit into there. I didn't have the back row completely full in the truck. Then this was a load that I had on my little 5x8 trailer. It was really large rounds, so my dad rolled them onto the trailer. I grabbed a hold of them with the hookaroon and pulled them the rest of the way up onto the trailer. Now if you look at this pile and then this pile, this one to me looks like it's much larger. I guess I'll find out once I get to stacking the wood. This one had really large rounds. Some of the rounds took 2 of us to load. That's why we took the trailer back on the second trip. I think the larger rounds is going to equal more wood in the end. So since I had 2 loads on the truck that were rounded up really good, plus that, I'm hoping that there's 1.5 cords here. What I did was, one Thursday evening, we went and got this load. I split it Friday morning, worked in the garage some. Then like late Friday afternoon, we went and got this. And then I split it Friday evening, and after supper finished it up about 8 o'clock. I also split some more wood, so if this is 1.5 cords, keep that in mind. I'll show you the other pile. Then I split all of this Saturday. Didn't split any of that was stacked. This wood has been cut for 3 years, laying here. The leaves had all blown in it. It was really nasty to deal with all the leaves in it, but I got it done. I'm hoping, but I don't think it's going to happen. A little bit of this wood got burned, but I kept track of how many truckloads were hauled in, pickup loads. I was hoping to end up with 3 cords out of this. I may come up a bit shy. I use 3 cords of wood a year, so if I have 3 cords here, that's a year's supply. Then the other pile I showed you, if that's 1.5 cords, that's a half-year supply. So I'm doing really good on my personal wood. Plus I have a little bit on, I have 2 pallets of wood that I can see that are bigger pallets, 6-foot long pallets, and then I have what I call termite wood, which is like the wood that has bugs in it that I keep from the wood that I sell to burn, a little bit of that. Then I have 1 tote full of uglies, so I'm doing really good on my personal supply of firewood. And then on top of that, there's some trees on the property that need taken care of, so I think I'm easily going to have a 3-year supply of firewood. But the problem I have is I need to find more totes to keep all this wood in, and totes are very, very hard to find around here if you don't want to pay $100, $150 for them. So if each tote holds 1/4 cord, I'm going to need 4 totes for 1 cord. Burn 3 cords a year, that's 12 totes. That'd be $1,200 right there for a year's supply of wood. That's insane. Might as well just use another method of heating the house if you're going to pay that kind of money to store your wood in totes. But I'll keep looking and see what I can find. If anybody has any suggestions on where to find totes, let me know. I feel like I've exhausted about everything. I've checked with car washes. We don't have any places around here that dye mulch. I've asked like everybody that I know. A lot of these factories are very, very funny about getting rid of the totes because they don't want to be sued over them. Even if it's like a food grade tote, they still don't want to give them to you. So they're really difficult to get a hold of. I guess I'll get this tractor positioned better to go ahead and start stacking some firewood in this tote. about a half of a tote of wood, starting to get a little bit distance from the pile. No need in walking. Might as well back the tractor up. Plus, this will be a good test. We can see if the tractor is going to lift a half a tote of wood. I did forget to mention that this wood isn't dry. It is green and it's been rained on, so it's got a little bit of weight to it. It's going to vary if you have a dry tote of wood, but really, if you cut a tree down that is green, you're going to need to be able to move it with your tractor more than likely. So you're probably going to want a tractor that is capable of moving one of these totes full of green wood if you're planning on putting your wooden totes. Alright, so I'm thinking with the way the tractor felt there, it's probably not going to pick up much more. So I'll go one more stack in the tote, or up to one more rung, and we'll see if it'll lift it. Alright, I have it stacked up, I have the wood stacked up one more rung. Let's see if the tractor will lift it. Well, it wouldn't lift it. I didn't think it would lift a full tote. It probably will lift this tote once it is dry. I'm going to say that a Kubota B series would easily lift a tote like this because they have a good bit more lift capacity on the 3-point hitch. Regardless, still need to finish stacking this tote here. I'll just have to get the 4240 out to move it once I'm done. And I need to get some more totes to finish this. Well, I got this tote jam-packed full of firewood now. I always like to put the roofs on them to maximize the storage out of the tote. Someone did tell me in the last video I did with one of these totes that they had put roofs on their totes like this and the wood got moldy. So at a later date I'm going to take a hole saw to the other end of this tote and poke a few holes in it for some ventilation. I did store some of my uglies in totes. Well, I'll show you those. This tote is full of firewood. I do have brake rotors on top of it just for extra weight since I use this ballast. But I've had a few totes like this full of uglies and I haven't had any problem with mold. So I think if I poke holes in the other end of that roof on this tote up here and the other ones that I've done, that I'm going to be fine. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel for more videos like this.